The greatest tool that we have spiritually is going within. And within us is an inner compass. It's a guide that leads us along on our spiritual path. In fact, it is the greatest resource, better than any book you can read, better than any teacher you could go to, better than any organized religion. Right within us lies a wellspring of knowledge, wisdom, guidance. And what ends up happening, children have this innately, and they don't even need to think about it or cultivate it. But as we get older, we shift that guidance from here, and then we go into the mind. And so everything is mind directed, and we are immersed or inured in the physical world. And what spiritual enlightenment in the path that most easily facilitates inner peace is going back to the source, going back within. And the liberation and freedom of following your inner compass is life transforming. And it's something that is so simple that you could start right now. And the inner compass will guide you and lead you and tell you which direction your life should be moving in. And a lot of people, I hear this statement a lot: I don't know what to do with my life, or I don't know where to go, or I don't have the answer. And usually the problem is that we're focusing on the external world to give us cues. And what we most rely upon is our family, our friends, other people, and then we internalize what they think of us, and then we say, okay, well, I'm going to do that based on what usually will win the most approval. And that is the most suffocating way spiritually to lead one's life. And all the great leaders, the Gandhis, the Martin Luther Kings, Jesus, Buddha, disregarded what the outside world said and instead went within here and had such a devout loyalty and commitment to their inner compass, leading them to what their path is supposed to be or what their destiny is supposed to be, that all those other things lost its importance in the external world. Whatever, they've had death threats, they had immense hostility, thrown in jail, all kinds of things, but they were tapped into their source, and that's what propelled them along their life's mission. And we especially in the Western world, we have been so disconnected from our inner compass. And it's a conditioning that starts at a very young age. They want us to be disconnected from our inner compass because you're more easily controlled. And it starts in the school and parents. It is hard to control people, as the previous people I just mentioned, when they are so connected and live their life based on their inner compass. So their inner compass says, okay, go due north, they're going due north. No matter what the road blocks are ahead, no matter all the people that are chastising them, ridiculing them, they're steadfast in their commitment to follow their inner compass. The inner compass says, go northeast, they go northeast. And there's not this tendency to rationalize it in the mind and say, well, my inner compass says northeast, let me go investigate that and let me see all the pros and cons. It's a slow, you purge all the mind stuff and the societal stuff, and you are just locked in. You're in sync with who you are spiritually. And I think at a very young age, we've all been imprinted with our life's purpose. And it's easy for some people to know. Some people know at a very young age what their life's purpose is based on what brings them joy, what brings them happiness. And that's the key. That is a good indicator of what your inner compass is saying. It'll bring you joy. It'll bring you happiness. It'll bring you inner peace. It might be something that's creative. It might be helping other people. It might be writing. There's a million different things. But it might even be something as simple as the way you dress, the way you speak. The inner compass is like a blanket which you can feel safe and secure in all areas of your life. You're not tossed to and fro by the wind by external forces. And this is freedom. This is bliss. And people might say, well, I don't know what my inner compass is saying. Well, the inner compass is like a muscle, and it has been so neglected, so atrophied from lack of use, that it takes a steadfast commitment to say, you know what, I'm going to start getting in touch with it. And don't start with the big things. Don't say, my inner compass is going to tell me my life's purpose tomorrow. Start with the little things. Like I said, the little things as the route you're going to take to work or to the place you go. The inner compass might say, let's take somewhere different. Another thing with the inner compass, it usually will not lead you down the path of safety, security, comfort, money, all these things. That's not its mission. It can be a byproduct of it, but usually it takes you to what you fear, and it causes you to confront your fears head on and overcome them. And slowly building that muscle, some good practices to get in touch with your inner compass is stillness. So whatever that works for you. For me, some things that really help me connect with my inner compass is sitting and taking a bath, and just sitting in the hot water, turning off, making sure it's dark, there's no lights, no distractions, and then just either focusing on my breath. And what ends up happening is all this guidance or this truth that is within me starts bubbling to the surface when I allow it. I said, oh, I should be doing this, or I can be going that way, in that direction, or let me fine tune this, or my compass is leading me east and I've been going west. And you'll know the difference. There's a distinct difference. It's an instinctual thing that just comes to you versus sitting and rationalizing, analyzing it. And I'm not saying to ignore your rational mind, but the inner compass comes from a spiritual, comes from the heart, and it's not mind-centric. So when you find yourself stewing over things in your mind and making decisions, trying to make decisions through rational thinking, that's not the inner compass. And some of the most effective ways the inner compass is kind of like a slow cooker. You put the food in, you set the timer 8, 9, 10 hours, and then you come back and then the food's done. You don't even need to worry about it. So you can ask the inner compass for questions. What should I be doing in this decision? Or how could I handle this person better? Or should I stay in my job? And then don't try to force an answer, but slowly let an answer come to the surface. And then sometimes it might be 3 days, 4 days, a week. I've had such clarity when I let go of my mind trying to figure everything out. And it's a complete shift in the way we are trained to think in the Western world. And it's exciting, it's liberating. Some other tools or other activities that really help nourish the inner compass is spending time in nature. That's a huge one. In the stillness. So you're spending time in nature, not trying to accomplish anything. Sometimes I'll just sit on a rock and overlook some beautiful scenery, or sit by a stream. Another really good practice is sitting in the parks and watching the children, watching the birds, watching the leaves rustle. Another one is listening to music. Listening to soothing, quiet music really helps me connect with my inner compass. And this just works for me, but another effective one is free writing. Is where you keep a journal and you just write whatever comes out. You don't analyze it, you don't try to edit it. And that is a real good tool to connect with your inner compass. You could ask a question and then see what comes out. But this is the most crucial thing on developing your spiritual growth in the path of enlightenment, is that strong, just bonded connection with your inner compass. And here's the challenging part. Your inner compass will be telling you all these things, and most important is then following through and having the courage to follow through what your inner compass is guiding you, the direction it's guiding you. It's going to lead you in paths that are scary. It's going to lead you in paths that are unknown. But when you walk that path, that's when the greatest rewards, the most fruit, and the absolute joy of living comes to. And all of our suffering is because we've ignored our inner compass.